Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are. First and foremost, for those who don't know me, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jaffa Isaac, also called Kanu, for those in my village who know me well. I'm a consultant in London, live in United Kingdom with my family. Former military man, former politician, or current state politician, former presidential candidate, former party leader of Diligence Development Alliance in Kenya. I've got masters in global politics, governance and security from the University of London. And for many of you that follow me, for the last 6 years, I've not been speaking about the public issues. Mainly I've been talking about myself and the struggle that I've been going through. It has been taken 6 years and I'm still fighting for my right. It looks like this silence is going to take longer than expected, and it may take me for the rest of my life. So as I continue fighting my rights through the procedure, through the laws, through mechanism that is put out there, it's done by the lawyers, it's done by other means that doesn't need to be in public. So I've decided, let me continue doing what I know best and what I'm passionate about. And what I'm talking about is speak for the people and the institutions. That's what I'm passionate about. So today's video, I want to discuss about the impeachment of cabinet minister in Kenya recently. What has not been really tradition. It has been new. It's new to Kenya. It probably I stand to be corrected, but I believe it's the first of its kind. Unfortunately, we lost the opportunity because there was a mess up in the impeachment procedure. So I want to talk about a couple of things in here. One is the procedure itself that was wrong. Secondly is about legitimacy, both from the accused one, and the institution which is supposed to take action against the whole thing. So it's about legitimacy, and that's where I will finish with. Now, let's come back to the procedure itself. In the leading democracies, and let's start from the country that I live in, United Kingdom, which I have studied the parliamentary procedures in my university, that I know it very well. So I'm speaking from the standpoint of the authority in this subject. There's what we call we don't call it impeachment, we call it vote of no confidence. Vote of no confidence can be done against the prime minister, it can be done against the minister, or any other person for that matter. This one can be done by the sitting government, or it can be done by the ruling party, or by opposition party. Once that one is done, then the appointing authority has no option but to remove. But in many cases, in a democratic, in an ideal world where the procedures and legitimacy is respected, most of the time when you're mentioned quite a lot by people, or by in a public sphere, you tend to resign yourself. But unfortunately, in Kenya or Africa, we don't know what it means to resign, because legitimacy for us is not really important, has never been, and hopefully in future legitimacy will be important, because respect, where people respect what you do, is something extremely important when it comes to leadership. But all that is something of later on. But let's talk. So in United Kingdom, it's called vote of no confidence by the parliamentarians. Another the country that's well known for impeachment, the United States. United States, as Kenya, we have two houses of parliament. Two houses of parliament, the lower house of parliament, the Senate. Always the impeachment start from the House of Representative, in this case Parliament in Kenya. A House of Representative bring the charges, and before these charges is done, the Speaker appoint committees to look into allegation, collect evidence, put them together, and work as prosecutors in House of Representative. And the rest of the parliamentarians or of the representatives, it becomes jurors They debate both for and against, and at the end of it, they vote, and the simple majority. But with the simple majority, they can adopt the charges. Now, in this case, impeachment. When this one happens, it's forwarded to Senate, the upper house of Parliament. Senate will constitute, the majority leader will come on the day, and the speaker vacate his speaker's seat or chair, give it to Chief Justice of the country, who will sit and preside over the impeachment process. The accused official will bring his defense in what has happened with the Linturi, where lawyers like Hamino, who also represent me, is my lawyer, an old man who is very experienced in law in that country. You bring all other prominent lawyers to come and defend you, depending on how much money you have, obviously. Again, now in this case, the committee that brought the charges, that presided over us as prosecutors in the lower house of representatives, they will come again and present their case to Senate. Then Senate will debate again and vote for it. If it's adopted, the official is removed from the office. Whether the appointing authority wants it or not, that person stands to be impeached. It's like a court of law. That person has been found guilty. But this, in many cases, as I said, and I repeat again, it does not reach there, because most of the time the appointing authority, when a lot of noises come from the voters and the people across the country, or the constituencies and those who voted for, especially for the ruling party, they tend to remove the person because the person becomes a liability to a political movement, where now it will damage them moving forward for the next election. So they look at politicians, they'll always look at next election. Even if you win an election today, you will immediately look at the next one, through the action, through what you do. In the cases of the ruling party or the ruling people, the ruling elites, these people, they always look at, they don't talk. Like Kenya, I can hear there's a roadside directives and noises where the president just make noise, and you don't need to justify yourself. You need to do by action, because you have the key to power. You decide. You are the decision maker. So you do and explain to people, in terms of economy, we've done this. In terms of security, we've done this. In terms of human rights, we've done this. In terms of employment, we've done this. In terms of education, we've done this. In terms of healthcare, we've done. Unfortunately, in Kenya, we don't have such things, because it's tribal and people have been brainwashed. That where people vote only for their clan and their tribe and Oki to Kidogo. So unfortunately, it's not there. And people, most of the time, the president especially, even politicians, all politicians in Kenya, don't care about opinion poll, don't care about the opinion of the voter, because Kenyans generally, we behave like ile mnyama that don't know, I forgot the name, but kuna this mnyama that inakuja kukula mimea shamba yako, unakuja unafukuza na kimbia 50 meters, then nasahau ilifukuza inarudi. Kenyan voters are like that. Kenyan voters just make noise for 24 hours and they've forgotten the rest. They were going to vote for the same. That's the reason why today in Kenya we have number one, wash are the leaders in Kenya. Drug dealers are leaders in Kenya. Corrupt people, murderers are corrupt, rapists are ones, and then jokers. Those are the people who are leading Kenya today, and it's been like that. And unless something changes, this one will continue. That's a topic for another day again. So the president does not care, and in this case, really clearly, Ruto does not care about his people, the people who put him in power. He didn't care. So he didn't bother to remove the person. So it went to impeachment procedure. So the impeachment procedure now, the process of the procedure has been a nightmare for Kenya. Number one, they started from impeachment rather than starting from the formation of the committee by the speaker. The day the speaker said, I allow the impeachment of Linturi to be debated in Parliament, that is not to be debated in Parliament. That is a wrong procedure by Speaker himself, and I know he's someone who went to school, and I know he's a senior lawyer. Why he thought that way, I wouldn't know. He's supposed to say from that chair that we accept the procedure to be followed, and I'm forming 10-man committee to look into allegation, collect the data, collect the evidence, bring it to this house, and then we can debate it. If it passes, fine. If it doesn't, fine. The procedure is what I've told you about how it goes. In case it not go that way, it started by impeachment, which the person is impeached by 147 against 36. 4 is 147 against the 36. Surely, if anybody suspect the parliamentarians who voted for that impeachment, be it legal or illegal, because in this case there's a procedure, there's a step that was jumped, so at the end of the day, the minister can go to court and say it was illegal. This is a totally different procedure, because he can use that one. I was impeached in a wrong way because I was never the procedure was never followed, which the law obviously will quash that one. But the whole thing is a drama. It's become a drama. It's become an embarrassment for the people of Kenya, and it will stand to be embarrassment for the rest of our lives unless another serious parliamentarians or parliament comes in and rectify these kind of mistakes that is with us for not only for the rest of our life, but for eternity. Now, let me turn into what we call legitimacy. First of all, legitimacy. There's another arm of the government, of institutions, that is supposed to take care in case where the appointing authority has not taken action. There are people who are called anti-corruption entity. These people are supposed to gather when Kenyans started making all these noises. They're supposed to investigate, collect the data together, and if there is evidence, they take it out there and say, this is the court, go to court, present to court, the minister is jailed and removed from the office. Of course, if you're jailed, you're removed from the office. That did not work again. It was not work because it is political. The whole thing is political. Let me now come back to legitimacy. First of all, the people who are accusing Linturi, what do they want? What motivates them? Because in many cases in Kenya, don't believe everything you see on the media, believe you me. Some of us, we know that country in and out. We know what you don't know. Not as they say, everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that you see on TV, 90% is a lie. It's something that creates a narrative that is created. So, the people who accuse Linturi, what is their motivation? That's number one. Because anything comes out of Kenya, me personally, I don't trust it. Even if you tell me there's an elephant today that was in parliament, I will not have until I see it myself. The media tells me I don't trust it. If parliament tells me I don't trust it. If Ruto tells me I don't trust it. That is a very unfortunate of our country. 2, if it is found to be legit, what this person is claiming, there's another thing. That these committees later on came 10 people led by Naomi from my county rep in Marsabit, where I'm born, chaired by Naomi. They came and they did a symbolic work. There's this allegation that they've been bribed. I don't dispute this because it's well known. Anything that Kenyan touch is involved with corruption. That's what I'm not disputing it. But has this allegation been investigated? Of course, no. Why? Because they're in power. But even if they are investigated, who to investigate them? That's where the legitimacy comes in. Because the people who are called anti-corruption, they are corrupt themselves. You see, for many years, over the years, we've seen director of anti-corruption is, except PLO Lumumba. In this case, I will remove the PLO Lumumba. And I know PLO Lumumba was thrown out of that office because he wanted a good thing. He wanted to do the right job. But of course, if you're a right person like us, we've been thrown out of the country PLO Lumumba is lucky he's still in the country, but he was removed out of office because of he was doing the right thing. Apart from the PLO Lumumba, the rest of the people who've been appointed as a director of anti-corruption, all of them, they became billionaires within the first month in office. The officers of anti-corruption in Kenya, all of them are rich because they are bribed. It has become a cash cow where they go to counties and collect money. So there's no legitimacy there. And legitimacy, I'm talking about, you may be legitimate when it comes to document that you've been appointed and it's been signed, yes, but legitimacy goes two ways. There's a legitimacy from people, perception. Politics is based on perception. Many people perceive, or around the world, perception is everything Kenyan touches, or Kenyan politician, or Kenyan organization, or Kenyan, if everybody in Kenya touches is corrupt. So this is something you cannot run away from. So who is going to investigate Naomi's team in this case? Nobody. So that means we are stuck and we are coming back. So Kenyans, instead of accusing the Naomi side, accusing the Linturi side, look at the procedure and look at the future and then make this decision based on that, not emotional, not personal. Look at procedure. Look at what will happen with my children, my grandchildren, in my country in future after I've left this. What is the history? These are the things that we need to look at. Those are the topic of I've decided to talk today. I want to say thank you again for listening to me. God bless you. Let's talk again.